Hey guys, I found something interesting that showed up last week at a GDC conference where Activision attended. Now this may not be anything, but I want to share stuff with you guys that I find is interesting. So GDC is a Game Developers Conference, and I guess it happens every year, and it was on March 19th through the 23rd, and there were a lot of speakers there that were talking about, inside company information from like all the game developers. One of the technical directors at Activision held a session where they talked about automated testing and profiling for Call of Duty. They showed all the inner workings of Call of Duty's automated building and testing tools. There is a video recording of the session, but you have to have a subscription to be able to watch it, and it's like $500, so yeah, that's not gonna happen. In addition to the video recording, they have the slideshow presentation that anybody can view. So you are able to download and view the PDF slideshow presentation. It's like around 30 pages long, and here's what it looks like right here. Now, a lot of this information is really confusing. I'm not a game developer, and a lot of it doesn't make much sense to me, but you don't really need to be a programmer or a game developer to, catch something in here that seemed kind of suspicious. So when you scroll through the presentation, you start to see, slides that show the actual testing portion of this program that they use. I think it's called Compass. Compass has these spreadsheets where it shows, the developer that's doing the testing, when they tested, the notes about what they found, wrong, and then it shows if it passed test, and then it also shows some screenshots from the actual game. It's really interesting because, it talks about the developers and some of the names, you can look up, and those are the developers. It shows the date they were testing it, and some of the problems that there were, and everything's visible and you can read everything except for one page. And I wouldn't have thought anything about it except for the fact there's a lot of information on here that is blurred. And here's the page right here from the presentation. So again, this is the spreadsheet that shows the testing that they did. You can see all the green bars, meaning it passed a lot of the tests. You can see the map pictures, who tested, and the information about what they were testing and when they were testing and what the maps were called is all blurred. So I was trying to figure out what are they hiding here, and what game are they testing on. So if you start looking at some of the details, you can see that the screenshots are from PS4. So, that could possibly mean that whatever they're testing on had to be post 2013. On the left side, you can see the people that actually did the testing, and these are developers from Infinity Ward. I looked them up, and there's names like Chris Piero, Jacob Minkoff, Darren Harrox. Yeah, all these guys are IW devs. So it could be safe to say that this could be an Infinity Ward game. Another thing they blurred out is the date that the testing was done. So it says change and then a number, and then it's blurred out on, and then the year, the month, and the day. The other spreadsheets are formatted in the same way. They say change a number and then the date. And when I was looking at this, it really looked like a 2018. Just by the way that the 8 is a lot darker than the other numbers, it really looks like it's an 8. I don't think it could be a 6 or a 7. Just the way that it's much more bold than the others, leads me to believe that, this is probably a 2018. There's something else on this page that leads me to believe that it's more recent than the other spreadsheets. And big shout out to Joe Trocious. He's the one that actually spotted this, and I think he's got a good point. Each itemized line of testing has a change order number, and the one with the blurred, information says that it's got the change number of like 1.9 million. You can see at the bottom, it starts at a lower number, and the very top number is the highest number. If you compare these numbers to the change order numbers on the other pages, it kind of shows a timeline. The page right after the blurred page says that they were in the year 2017 doing testing, and the change order numbers were in the 1.3 millions, so it's lower than the blurred page. Then the page after the 1.3 millions goes even lower than that, and it goes back to 2015, and it's in the 790,000 range. So is it possible that in 2015 they were doing change order numbers and itemizing it, in order, and so it makes sense that, this would be the lowest number, and then in 2017 they were doing change orders and, it worked its way up to 1.3 million, and then that last page that's blurred worked its way up to 1.9 million, which kind of supports that, that blurred date could be 2018, which could support that, they're testing something that's not been released yet, so they needed to blur all the information out so, they're not showing it to the public. So even though they blurred out all the details about what they're testing, they left the pictures in, and the pictures are extremely low quality and very hard to see what's going on. There are some things in this picture that can be identified, but as far as finding out what title they go to, nobody's sure about that. That's why I wanted to make this video, show you guys these screenshots screenshots and this information and see if some of you multiplayers out there would be like, yeah, I recognize that. I know what that is. So the first screenshot on the left definitely appears to be in some kind of area where there are trains, and it definitely looks like a train car on the left. And you know, Infinity Ward likes doing train wreckage train yards on their Modern Warfare maps. There is a map on Modern Warfare called Pipeline, and it is a train wreckage yard, and I was able to go look at it, and yeah, it's got trains with, you know, the doors open just like this, but I couldn't find a place where I could stand that would mimic what this scene looks like. It just wasn't matching up anywhere. I don't have access to Modern Warfare 2 or 3, so I wasn't able to, you know, check the maps on there to see if anything matches. Someone had brought up a good point that, you know, maybe some of these are campaign levels that you're looking at, and that's, you know, very possible. This next scene appears to have a palm tree right in the middle. It looks like it's leaning a little bit, so that's possible. It definitely looks like there's really blue water in front right there, and then maybe some sand or stone behind it. This scene here makes me think that it is a campaign scene because you can see what looks like two players, and it seems like these testers are testing alone on like their console dev kits. So it looks like the player on the left is probably an NPC, but if anybody out there is really good at knowing the campaign levels and what they look like, and you can remember palm trees and really blue water, then yeah, maybe we can get this identified. This last scene, people are speculating that, you know, maybe the gun in the picture is a FAMAS from Modern Warfare 2. Pocky on Twitter sent me a side-by-side comparison showing them standing on rundown with the FAMAS, and they're standing by a telephone pole, so that definitely matches. And the gun, yeah, it looks similar. I'm not sure about where they're standing and the lighting, and you know, some of the lights coming off of the building, those don't quite match up, but you know, maybe someone out there can identify what this scene could be. What's interesting is on the HUD, there's a very, very white icon on the bottom left, so if that can be identified, that could be, you know, a huge tell. But then again, these devs are testing on dev kits, which are, you know, specialized consoles, and they may not be looking at the same types of HUDs that we would be looking at. This might be a specialized HUD for them to show different testing diagnostics. Whatever the case may be, I don't think this is going to be like Ghost or, you know, Infinite Warfare. I think this could be one of the Modern Warfare series, and I know a lot of people are speculating, you know, after I tweeted these pictures out, that it could be Modern Warfare 2 Remastered that they're testing, and the possibilities that these are images for their 2019 game, I mean, who knows? But if that were the case, and based on how these screenshots are themed, it looks like it could be like another Modern Warfare in the Modern Warfare series, and maybe they would be calling it Modern Warfare 4. Next in the news is that today might be the day that we get the DLC to World War II trailer, and I know a lot of people may not care about that, but there is still an Easter egg hunt that's going to be happening next week, and a lot of people are going to be participating, and you know, a lot of YouTubers are going to be doing it, and I've got some information regarding that. So next Tuesday is going to be the release of DLC 2 for PS4, and yeah, there's going to be an Easter egg hunt going on the Shadowed Throne with the zombies community. So as far as the status for the leaked information for this Easter egg hunt, well, the final Reich was solved before the game came out, so you know, that was interesting. DLC 1 had all the steps revealed to the Darkest Shore like almost the same time that the game had released, but it didn't really hurt the Easter egg hunt. It still took people a little bit to figure it out, and the leaked steps didn't really help. For the Shadowed Throne, there is some information leaked and it's on Reddit, but the good news is that it's not any Easter egg steps, but that could change, you know, as we get closer to the release. But so far the only thing they've leaked is the playable areas and the Wonder Weapon information. I'm not going to spoil it and show any leaked information about that. You guys can head over to Reddit if you guys want to check it out. But I will talk a little bit about the Wonder Weapon because Sledgehammer actually showed something in the Zombies menu that was an Easter egg for that Wonder Weapon that's coming up on DLC 2. In the Zombies menu, they have put up the St. Patrick's Day theme, and at the bottom there's these pots of gold, and next to the pots of gold is the actual like ammo that's going to be going into the Wonder Weapon. It's a type of bolts. And here's a really good picture of it right here. And this, again, was posted on Reddit, and I didn't feel like this was too big, you know, of a spoil for you guys because they're already showing it. Also, as a reminder to people that actually do play World War II Zombies, they will be starting zombie orders with this DLC too. So that should be interesting to see, you know, what that's going to be all about. You can see the orders section that's grayed out at the top of the page when you're in the Zombies menu. Last in the news is a tweet that Cameron Dayton had made about the Shadowed Throne saying, "Don't forget to pack your shovels." And Honda Rider responded saying, saying would love to use my heroic shovel, and Cameron Dayton actually liked his response. With the shovel being so iconic to World War II zombies, it only makes sense that the customizations from multiplayer for the shovel should carry over for the zombie players. Right here is the heroic shovel, and here is what one of the camos looks like on it. So yeah, I would definitely bring a little bit more color into this zombies mode, and we definitely need that. We're not getting a lot of options for camos, and hopefully we'll see more of that soon. I hate seeing zombie players left out of like all these options that multiplayers get. And one more thing before I go, if you guys are able to identify any of the screenshots that I showed earlier in the video, you can email me at glitchingqueen@gmail.com. That's really the only way I can get messages from you guys if y'all have something important to tell me. But I hope this helped you guys out, and we'll see you next video.